Good morning, Dr. Seth,
Good morning.
and a warm welcome to our listeners. I appreciate your presence here, and we are going to embark on this enlightening interview. I'm excited to delve into this remarkable, breathtaking technology that we're about to explore. My name is Violaine, and today our focus will center on this revolutionary Tesla Biohealing Medbed technology. This innovative work is deeply rooted in the original discoveries of Nikola Tesla. So without further ado, let's dive right in, shall we?
Sounds good.
I have a list of questions for you. We'll start with, can you please introduce yourself, including your background, specialty, the numbers of years you've been working in the field of the Tesla biohealing and wellness?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so I'm Dr. Seth Robinson. My background is in chiropractic and also functional medicine. So I've been in practice for about 11 years. And I've had several different types of practices ranging from, pure chiropractic, where we're focusing mostly on musculoskeletal conditions. I've even had stretch clinics, lifestyle centers, and things like that, focusing on kind of lifestyle medicine. And my research and truly my passion for getting to the root cause of illness for my patients led me to Tesla Biohealing about 2.5 years ago. And even a little bit before that, I was starting to become more aware and intentionally wanting to investigate energy medicine. And most people on the holistic side, we understand that the body is energetic. And I don't think I truly appreciated how energetic the body was until maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And I tell this to people who come and visit our centers that every now and then in my practice, I would get a handful of patients and I couldn't figure out how to help them. And I would start on this kind of research journey and try to figure out what are they doing around the globe for people who have this condition and that condition. And again, that's how I found Tesla Biohealing. And 2.5 years ago, I started working here, and the rest is history, as they say.
Well, it all sounds like very exciting, just wanting to discover the energetic aspect. I've been looking into this myself. It's 3 years now, just about emotions and how they drive energies and so on. So I really resonate with what you're saying. What inspired the development of Tesla biohealing technology, and how does it align with Nikola Tesla pioneering work?
Very good. So I will say that one of the and this is true for any innovation or any invention, that usually there are multiple sources of inspiration. And for Dr. Liu, who developed this technology, and several of his colleagues, Nikola Tesla's research, more so than an actual invention or innovation of his, more so his research and some of his findings served as a springboard, if you will, a springboard. So which kind of ended is where the innovation for this technology began. There are others, in the field. There are other philosophers, so on and so forth, that, I'm sure inspiration was drawn from. But if you talk to the person who developed this technology, he will tell you that his inspiration, was certainly Nikola Tesla's findings, his desire to harness this energy for the betterment of mankind, particularly from a wellness standpoint and a health standpoint, a healing standpoint. So that certainly served as the inspiration And then also the need that many people have. There are many people who have unmet medical needs where, modern science, modern medicine is not really, doesn't have an answer for, right? There are so many people who fall into that category. And not saying that modern medicine doesn't have a place, certainly does. It saves lives every day. But in terms of healing, there's a difference between preventing someone from becoming sicker and then actually helping the body to heal. Those are two different things. And so what we're finding is that this is fitting a need for people who have these unmet medical conditions. It's starting to prove itself as a viable option for people who need that. So I think those two things were probably the two primary inspirations: Nikola Tesla's findings, and then also this need to meet the needs of those with unmet medical conditions.
Nikola Tesla is a fascinating guy. When we
Absolutely.
mention him, everybody is very fascinated about his work. I actually didn't. I mean, I've read about him quite a bit. I've read about his work, but I don't think I'm sure I knew from the beginning that it was focused on wellness and healing people. I know he worked a lot on energy, but can you talk about scalar waves? Were they part of his work as well? And is that integrated with this Tesla Biohealing life force that we're talking about?
That's a great question. So, the concept of life force energy, it permeates kind of history, and you will find references to a life-sustaining energy, perhaps even a life-giving energy. You'll find that in various cultures. You'll find it in various religions. You'll find it in various practices all throughout different cultures. And particularly in the East, it's talked about, in various terminologies. And as this concept started to trickle into the West, maybe in the 19 teens and the 1920s, more and more researchers started to try to figure out, well, what are we actually talking about? Can it be measured? Can it be isolated? What are we talking about? So, James Clerk Maxwell is kind of he's kind of one of the first people to try to answer that question and get to the root of it. But he made some I'll say this, he asked some really important questions that led to the discovery. And then Nikola Tesla was probably the first person to demonstrate that scalar waves actually exist. And then, known researchers started to say, well, this is actually a thing. Even Albert Einstein, acknowledged the existence of scalar waves. And as we move down through the decades, more and more scientists have kind of gotten there. But to answer your question, scalar waves, there are different types of scalar waves. So there isn't just one type of scalar wave. And when I first joined the company, we were using terminologies to help people understand what we're doing. As time has gone on with this company in particular and this technology, we've started to use the term biophotons because it's something that we're able to measure. It's something that we're able to isolate and measure. And so the question is, are biophotons and scalar waves interlocked? Is the existence of one, are they interlocked? Are they related? And the answer is yes. So for particular types of scalar waves, biophotons play a major role from a component standpoint. So in terms of what our technology does and what we communicate to the consumer and to the market, we usually stick to biophotons once again, because it's something that we can measure. It's something that we can isolate, but at the core, are scalar waves a part of the effect? And I would say yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you
You're
for
welcome.
all these details. I think we've already covered a lot of what Tesla Biohealing technology is. But for those who may be new to this concept again, could you recap the fundamental principle of all of this, just as I suppose a little brief summary or review?
Sure. Absolutely. At the foundation of what we do here at Tesla Biohealing is the fact that the human body was created to heal itself. It's designed to heal itself. It has an incredible immune system, and it has an incredible self repair system, a self regenerating system, and that system requires energy. Cells that carry out this work require energy. In my private practice for the last 11 years, I've been preaching that we do not understand the potential for our body's healing capacity because most of us are de-energized. We're de-energized because of lifestyle choices. We're de-energized because of emotional stress. We're de-energized because of a lack of spiritual foundation and practice in life. We're de-energized for all of these reasons. And whether it's a physical stressor or an emotional stressor or a spiritual stressor, what have you, eventually the effect trickles down to the cellular level and cells are de-energized and thus incapable of carrying out this self-healing, self-regenerating work efficiently. It can't outwork the stressors that we succumb to on a daily basis. So what we see more and more now is that a stressor, let's say a chemical stressor, for instance, let's say, estrogens that we get through toxins, right? Those estrogens are a chemical stressor on the body. Our liver is kind of responsible for trying to get all of it out and so on and so forth. So what happens is over time, because it's unnatural to be exposed to that type of chemical over and over and over again on a chronic basis, the liver becomes overworked. It becomes overworked. And now, not only is it under that stress, but all the other toxins that we're exposed to its normal work, it can't do as efficiently. And the next thing you know, you have some type of illness is going to eventually come up because the liver can't keep up. There are also other organs that are going to be affected because the liver can't keep up, like the gut. So there's going to be this huge backup, and then you have all these symptoms, and you're going to have two choices at the end of the day. Do I cover the symptom with essentially a band-aid, right? Whether it's a chemical band-aid or what have you, or is there a way that I can revitalize the liver, the cells of the liver, so that they can then do the work that they're required to do? So that's the foundation. What our technology does is we are finding that people who use our technology that their cellular energy is being supplemented. And I won't pretend like I know the exact mechanism of this. We're learning every day here. And you guys are getting information, almost right after we're getting information. So we're learning every day. Somehow our bodies, we're helping supplement cellular energy. And what happens is now the cells that have been de-energized for so long, they wake up, they start to do their work more quickly, more efficiently. And the body ends up doing what the body is designed to do. So people who have been stuck in a rut for a really long time, they're exposed to this technology, their body is supplemented, their body then begins to function more optimally. And because of the beauty and the intricacy of how the body is designed, it then takes over and it does its thing.
Yeah, so it's interesting you mentioned the liver. I did the BioWell exam or scan,
Yes.
and the liver did show up, and it told me it's a common thing because it's here, it's like waking up and doing its thing, so it's hyperactive and
Sure.
part of the detox process. So what I get from what you're explaining, the key points really, and also myself, when people are asking me, what is it? What are you doing? I explain it in a sense, well, I am in a place where I'm exposed to high vibrational generators that are here to regenerate cellular or I'm here for cellular regeneration.
Mm,
So I explained that the exposure to high frequencies will just reactivate the body and help it heal itself on a much faster level than what we will do, I guess, typically in our sleep. So
that's a
when
really good, yeah, that's a really good way of saying it. An analogy I like to use is, the sun being our ultimate source of photons, for instance. If you put a completely healthy person in a dark room and you leave them there for days and days, just give them water and minimal food, no contact, dark room, no light, even being completely healthy, a matter of days, maybe a week or so, that person would their health would start to decline. And the longer they stay in that room, the worse and worse their health would be. If you took that person from this dark room and you put them in natural sunlight in the middle of a forest and gave them clean water and living food, every cell of their body would immediately wake up. It would immediately wake up. And in a very short amount of time, they would be restored to good health. And it's kind of the same concept. A lot of us are stuck in this dark room of poor lifestyle, chemical exposure, so on and so forth. And what we're doing is really bringing the power of nature to someone's living room, someone's bedroom, and the body responds in a similar fashion.